Liv and Kai, however, switched like that. It took them 0.2 seconds to go.
I knew this was going to happen because, you had all that time in that villa to find a connection with each other, and you did it in the first couple of weeks, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, but
that's not a thing.
Nah, that was never genuine, and I knew it wasn't. But how funny when she had a go at him, but you're both as bad as each other.
Right.
And it's literally like the same routine. It's like Tom, then this person, then this person.
Yeah,
it's literally just like, now I'm not shocked. I can't lie.
Yeah. And then Olivia came in with a man on her arm, like. Clearly didn't miss me that much. I'm like, girl, read the room. Like, you're with
your new man.
Yeah.
Like, can you not see that he's right on your arm, right next to you? Yeah.
And,
she said that you left me a message or whatever, but you still picked someone else. So the message obviously didn't mean nothing to you.
You forgot his name.
So you forgot his name on day one.
Like, and you said that it was the most special connection in the villa. You forgot his name. Hello. Let me not show you these. These are spoiling the future. Welcome back to another episode of Sunburnt, which if you don't know, it is the show where every Sunday we recap everything that's been going on in the Love Island villa over in South Africa. And this week it is a heavy one with Casa Amor. And we are joined by the wonderful Tanyel. Woo, woo, woo. How are you doing, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How's life been treating you since you're back in England?
Really well. I've really been enjoying myself.
Oh, actually, I have a question to ask you. I've been meaning to ask this to every single person that's come on from the show, and I always forget. How windy is it in South Africa?
Oh my God.
Because every episode, I'm like, this looks like Arctic temperatures. Everyone is shivering. The
this
hair
was
is
me
going
every
everywhere.
night, literally like this. Like, at some points, I just thought, forget it. I'm just going to tie my hair up. Like, I can't be bothered. I don't care. Like, obviously, I like to do different styles on my hair and make myself look pretty and stuff. And, just show different things. In the end, I was just like, me and the girls were like, should we just tie our hair up tonight? It's so windy.
Is it? Is it cold?
Because it's so windy, it kind of feels a bit cold at times. Like, sometimes I'd be like, I'm freezing.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, these people look cold. Like, they're sat in bikinis and swim shorts. Right, but let's get into your time in the villa. First up, you were coupled up with Kai. Did you think anything serious was going to happen there? Could you see you and Kai on the outside? Because you guys did actually seem quite cute at the start. I was rooting for you guys at the start. Well, as things got on, but at the very start, I was like, this could actually be a thing. Yeah,
so when I first coupled up with him, we were getting on, but I didn't actually really fancy him just yet. It was more, I was more like, I was like, Whenever we'd have conversations, I'd be like, don't know. And then as soon as I'd coupled up with Ron, I actually then realised I fancied Kai.
Right.
So it's so strange. It's like you want what you can't have. But yeah, that's when I actually realised I liked Kai.
And then when you started properly liking him and trying things out, were you like, this could actually be a thing on the outside, or were you just sort of like, I'm still not sure, but we'll give it a shot?
Do you know what? I wasn't thinking of the outside just yet, because I was more thinking of like, it's so early days. And I'm someone who's just like, man, I need to show you how they're going to treat you for a long time.
Right,
so
slow
you just start
burner.
thinking of, because I know what people are like you can just, honestly, even myself, I might change my feelings overnight. So he could as well, do you know what I mean? It was too early to think of the outside world. It was more like, let's see how it's going, but I'm actually starting to like you.
Right. You spoke about Ron. There has been lots of people on social media seem to think that you and Ron could have potentially had a thing. You did at the start, if I'm right, were like, oh, I feel like I could maybe fancy him. I might try and give it a shot. And we just immediately like, actually, no, it's pure friendship.
So I feel like it was just a few days we were speaking a little bit, and we were both very like cheeky. Our convo was like flowing. As soon as like I'd coupled up with him, it was more like we flirted a little, and then we were like, I'd go to him and speak about Kai.
Right.
And then he'd come to me and speak about Lana, and then we'd both like advise each other, and we was just like, yeah. So one day I was like, listen, I think we need to talk, but obviously just friends. And then because it was so normal between us, we just grew like really good friendship, and it didn't feel awkward at all after.
Yeah. Because a lot of people on social media were like, Tanyel and Ron so obviously fancy each other and they're just trying to disguise it as best friends.
No, not at all, because you know what? We had the opportunity. We could have just taken it then.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're both like, we're going to be open, even though we're both into other people still. Like, we're going to be open. So we could have grabbed that, but we genuinely like it didn't click like that.
Do you think anything could happen with Ron in the future?
Never.
Never?
Honestly, never, yeah. And I wouldn't want it to.
Right.
I really wouldn't want it to, because I would never ruin a friendship like that. And I genuinely don't fancy him.
Okay. Then next up, you and Kai came to an end. Olivia swooped in. How did you feel in that moment? Did Olivia ever come to you and was like, babe, do you mind if I go there? Or was she just sort of like...
So I don't know if what has been aired, I haven't really watched it properly,
Yeah.
but Olivia did actually come to me and she was like, I'm just going to tell you this, blah, 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 like, is it okay, sort of thing? And she was quite nervous. And I was more like, it's completely fine, but huh? Like, I was like, where did this come from? I was so confused.
That was the same reaction as everyone watching.
I was like, what? Like, I'm baffed. Because also, Kai would always say to me, my top two are the only people I fancy is Anime and you. So I did think it was a bit like, I was a bit concerned for her, if anything.
Right.
I was thinking, I hope he's being genuine, like, and he's not just going there just because that's like Samie wasn't interested. So I was a bit worried for her, and I was also sort of like, I'm actually done with the situation with him. So I respected that she come and asked me, and I just said to her, like, obviously it's a bit of a shock because I didn't see it coming. Like, I never really saw them speak, sorry. So I was like, I'm a bit shocked, but I'm happy for you, and I just want you to be happy.
Was it awkward in the villa when, like, they were starting to get to know each other and you were still there, or...?
So it wasn't awkward for me, but what started to make me feel awkward, and I had a conversation about Liv with this, I said to her, like, I feel like you're being awkward with me and moving different with me.
I don't care about.
Because you feel a type of way. When I'm telling you I really don't feel a type of way, I actually want you to be able to come to me and be like, oh, we just kiss, or this, that, share things with me because we're friends.
So she was like holding back what, like, the updates that you would usually tell people because she thought you like might get pissed off.
Yeah, or I don't know what she thought, but I literally said to her, like, genuinely, I don't care.
That would annoy me because I'm like, now you're making this into a thing when it's not a thing. Like, I don't care, and you're making me feel like I should care almost.
Yeah, honestly, it was more after that I was like, now I'm starting to get bothered. I wasn't even bothered before, genuinely.
I had no reason to care now, but now you're giving me a reason to care.
Genuinely.
And then your final sort of like phase in the villa was you and Jordan. Never was going to be a thing, did you think?
The thing is, because his personality was so good.
Yeah.
And I really got on with him. And he's tall, like, lovely. Because I feel like he's such a real guy and stuff, I wanted to give it a go. So it was too soon for me to tell because I left him and Ellie to it at the beginning.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I didn't want to...
There has been so many of you this year. I forgot... When you said Ellie for a second, I was like, Ellie, right there, I'm there in my head.
But, like, so I kind of, like, we didn't get the chance to talk before. And then when we finally did it, I wanted to try and give it a go to see if I could, because I am a slow burner and I do go off personality a lot of the time. The only thing that was missing was the cheekiness.
Right.
And at times I did think, if I don't really like him, it's not going to happen. But then I thought, no, like, I know that sometimes I can like people after, and especially because he had such a good personality, I wanted to try and give it a go.
Also,
obviously it didn't happen.
There's ever a time to give something a go, it might as well be in Love Island. You don't have another choice.
Yeah.
Like, what
true.
else are you going to do? Go to put all your thumbs in the bedroom? But with you and Jordan, a lot of people including myself, I was getting pissed off watching ITV2 every night because people were meddling in that in a weird way, which I hadn't seen them meddle in any other relationship. Like, you had Tanya and Shaq and Liv, like, everybody was going up to him being like, I don't think she fancies you, I don't think this and that. And I was like, why has everybody got so much to say when no one had anything to say about anyone else's relationship?
I know.
Did you know that these conversations were like going on in the villa, or it was when you got out and saw it?
No, it was only when I got out and saw it, and I haven't even seen properly, but I've heard from, like, friends. Honestly, so many people have messaged me saying, oh my God, like, have you seen what they did to you, this, that? I'm like, huh? And then I've seen it, and everyone's saying it. Not one person has said anything different, so you must be right, do you know what I mean? I am obviously shocked and disappointed, but it's just sort of like, I don't know, like, why?
Like, did you feel a type of way when you, like, got out and saw that was all going on? Or
100%,
just like...
and, like, I've said, like, a few things, and, like, the thing is, I do want to speak to Liv when she comes out and stuff. I want to have that conversation with her face to face. Same with, to be honest, like, with Shaq, he was, like, I actually really loved him like a brother in there. I was really close with him.
Really?
Yeah, I was actually really close with him in the beginning. I just think he tries to look out for people, but I think he doesn't realise sometimes he's going around it the wrong way, like, and it's not his place.
Right.
And with Tanya, I don't think she meant it bad mind, but she shouldn't have said anything. Yeah. Like, she was my friend in there, she shouldn't have said anything. And I think the maddest part of it all is I never even said that day, like, that there's no chance or this, that. I never said that to no one.
Yes, yeah.
I said, like, I'm not too sure, maybe I would have felt it by now. But to Liv, she asked me beforehand, like, what do you think? And I was like, he's probably the only, like, she goes, is he the only person in here for you? And I was like, Like, I never gave a proper answer. Because
that's what got me, because I was like, it's not like, if you had gone there and was like chatting to him and then gone back to girls and be like, absolutely not, never, then I'd be like, fair enough, they're just trying to win the work. You never were like, absolutely never, like, categorically, that's a no. Like, you were like...
you know what it is? I actually was, if anything, more like, because I didn't want to give anyone false hope, or like I didn't want to promise anyone anything, but more so it's because I wanted to know myself before I could say anything. But people are going to do what they want to do, innit?
My favourite thing was your sister, right, was on social media. And that video...
Oh my God, so it wasn't my sister.
Was it not your sister?
The blonde girl.
Yeah.
She's my best friend. And obviously went, oh my God. So I come out and I was like, oh my God. I love her to bits. She's my best friend. Funny. And this is what I mean, I always said this in the villa, and I don't know if they ever showed you this, but I always said, I got my real friends on the outside world, Jay. It's going to take me a long time to make proper real friends in here. Like for me to trust, because I know what real is, And that's exactly what I mean. Don't get me wrong, I did tell her not to react. I said, do not react before going in, because I knew she would. But she's not really. She was only defending me and being a good friend to me.
My favourite line from her was, Liv, you need to get Tanya's name tattooed on your body. I was like... I was like, what the hell? She was hilarious. I want her in the villa.
She could not go in that villa. She couldn't. Oh my God, she wouldn't be able to take it. No
South
way.
African authorities.
No, she would not be able to handle, honestly.
Speaking of Liv, I felt like, I don't know if it was just edited this way, but towards maybe the end of the time that you were in the villa, there sort of started to be like almost like a divide.
There was.
People, and there was sort of felt like maybe like Liv was like a leader of like one side of the group, and then it was sort of people who weren't in her immediate circle were not. Did it feel like that in the villa, or was it just?
Honestly, it did feel like that, and I started to feel that she had an issue with me, or I started to hear that she kept saying things about me.
Really?
So
like
there was actually a few times that I pulled her up on things, and they haven't shown that, I don't think.
Okay.
But there was a few occasions where I pulled her up, and I was actually like a lot more like, no, you're like taking the piss now. I've heard you speak about me a few times. You're telling me you're straight, but then why are you talking about me behind my back for? And then she'd say it wasn't the right time to tell you this, that. And I was like, but you've had all day to pull me up on this. You haven't. I had to pull you up again. How many times do I have to pull you up for talking about me?
And it's like one of those things, if it's not the right time, then don't be speaking about it to other people, because it's fine if you want to speak about it to someone else. How I view it is like, if you want to speak about it behind my back, that's fine, but you need to make sure you come to me before that gets back to me, because I don't want to hear it from someone else.
Or just say it straight after, or whatever it is. But she'd say, oh, like, I wanted to look out for Lana, or this, that. I'd be like, or are you trying to turn her against me? Like, do you know what I mean? You're trying to make me look bad, but if you're my friend, would you even think badly of me?
Yeah.
Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, I just didn't like that behaviour.
Who would you say you were closest to in there with the girls?
I'd say Lana, Samie.
Lana and Samie. Yes, I loved yours and Sammy's friendship. I have to ask, when Samie pushed that thing over on Liv, was that on purpose? Or?
Of course not. Like, genuinely, if you saw that challenge, right, everyone kept pushing that stuff before everywhere. Like, and even Lana done it to me, right? And I was like, I just blow dried my hair, but I laughed it off, right?
Right.
But everyone was doing it. And I think even Ron Splash Liv, she was just at the wrong place, because like where she was standing was right in front of it, so she was getting it directly. And I get it's annoying, don't get me wrong, but
to make an issue out of it,
She made like a massive, like anything, she always felt like things were personal when they really wasn't.
She very much gives me the energy where it's like, she could do something, but if someone did the same thing she did, she has an issue with it.
I think everyone can see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on to Casa Amor. Okay, getting into the couples, Tanya and Shaq. So obviously they had their little bust up before they went into Casa Amor, and Tanya sort of had a wandering eye. Do you think what Tanya did was wrong, like exploring things with Martin?
Yes and no. And I've always been real with her.
Tell me both sides.
So, I think she's not wrong in the sense of, I think she had to do it for herself. I think where her and Shaq were a little bit rocky, and I know the type of Tanya is, she followed through with who she actually is.
Right.
She doesn't like that stuff once she gets the ick. She's made it very clear before she's going to do her thing. So good for her. She done it, and she done what she wanted for herself. However, where she's told him she loves him, and I do actually believe Shaq, I can't lie, I do think Shaq does love her, because
really,
maybe not in love, definitely not in love. It's too
but
early.
falling in love.
I think he has love for her.
Right,
not even falling in love. I think he does love her and have respect for her. And I think where they have been quite intimate and close with each other and stuff like that, I just feel like I know he pissed her off, and I know he reacts like wrong to certain situations, but I think like he's only done a couple things. I still think if you really like someone, you should talk it out.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, if your partner pisses you off, what, do you throw that out the window?
Yeah.
Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, you work through things. So I think she's wrong and right. She done what she needed for herself, and maybe what he did was like really put her off. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think maybe they should have spoken about it when she was back, and I don't know.
I just, the thing which I have a question mark over, and I love Tanya. I think maybe out of everyone left now, she might be my favourite. She seems like she's got a funny personality.
She does.
But the thing which I just have a question mark over is the whole love thing. Because if I said I love you to someone, I wouldn't even like be looking at anyone else. And I get that she had the little tiff before like they went off, so she sort of like went into Casa Amor with a sour taste about Shaq. But I'm just like, if you actually did love someone and really said I love you, like you meant it, I don't think what happened in the main villa would have been enough for her to swing that far away.
I agree though.
And then I'm just like, oh, like you've just sort of shot yourself in the foot, which is what I have always said. I think they rushed into it too quickly, and now it's come back to bite them, because if she never said I love you, no one would have an issue with anything she's done. If she had just like taken it like at a slower pace, or what also if he had as well, and Tanya had brought back in a new person, no one would have cared. Everyone would have found it funny, because like City Girls up one, but it was just the love you part, which I was just like, oh.
The thing is when you're in the villa, your feelings are so much more intense. Everything feels so much more different. Like it's not the same as the outside world. Like you're with the same people every day. You're getting to know this guy more every day. Everything's so intense. So her feelings at the time she might have felt like they were genuine and stuff. And then once everything else happened, it's like everything changes so quickly, and then that's all I've got to say.
Right.
But I do agree. Like I actually feel for Shaq in this situation.
Will and Jessie up next. I feel so bad for Jessie.
I know.
Will kissed Layla. I think Will only kissed her because he felt the pressure from everyone else, and he saw everyone else sort of cracking on and trying things, and he was like, oh, maybe I should as well. Like, Will gives me very much the energy that he will just sort of follow the pack. So if all the other boys are going out and like trying and dating the Casa girls and kissing the Casa girls, he's like, oh, well, maybe I should be doing that too.
No, not at all. Do you know why? Because whenever a bombshell would come in, he'd make it very clear, like, oh, I'm happy with my couple. So he kept that energy throughout, so he should have done that really in Casa.
Yes.
Like, if it means that he had to do that to realise everyone's different in it. But I can't lie, it took me by surprise. I was like, what the hell?
Because everybody, and it's pissed me off, everybody's been saying on social media, Jessie's using Will is so genuine, and Jessie's just using him until someone better's come in. I have always said I think Jessie seems very genuine, and I think Jessie seems very sweet, and I'm so glad that I finally got my, because everybody was like, you're wrong, and I'm right, I'm always right.
No, I think like you could see when she come in, she was actually really, really upset.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think you know who's genuine until they're out of there.
Yes.
Genuinely.
But when you were in there, did you think when Jessie came in, she really was into Will, or were you sort of side-eyeing?
In the beginning, I was a bit unsure.
Yeah. Is he as like goofy and ridiculous in the villa as he is on the show?
24/7. Like honestly, there's not a second that I'd like. Every time I'd see Will, he's got energy. Energy. I'd be like, it's tiring looking at you, like, because you're so energetic. But you know what though? Whenever you needed like a friend to talk to,
he was a good
or
bomb.
someone to tell you the truth, like he's very lovely. He's such a nice guy. I just can't believe he's done this.
Yeah. Well, he said he had to do it to be able to sort of realise how much he liked Jessie. I'm sorry, that is not a real thing. In the outside world, if I was dating someone quite seriously, Will and Jessie were pretty serious. They're not exclusive, but they hadn't been looking at anyone else for quite a few weeks. And then someone came, I've kissed someone, but I had to kiss someone because I'd be like,
no, of course not. Listen, early days is not so bad, early days, but they have been proper close. Like, this is not okay at all.
Tom and Samie, I love Samie, but together they might be the most boring couple ever. I
think she needs someone a little bit more
fun. I agree, and I just think because she had better chemistry with you than Tom.
I love Samie. She's the realest girl. Honestly, she's so stunning as well.
Beautiful.
My God! And you're gonna bloody go kiss other girls, when you've got a girl like her.
Well, I agree. First of all, which is why I think he stuck with it in the end, but. Is it that they hadn't been that? They sort of only agreed to stop like looking at other people like 2 days before. Do you know why I think he even
done that though? But the thing is, it was shocking in some ways because Tom's really into her.
Really?
He would come to me and say to me like, "Does she ever talk about us to you? Like, how does she feel? Like, she doesn't really give away much." So the impression I've got is he's done that because he felt like she never reassured him.
Right.
Yeah, because Sammy's really like, she doesn't say what's on her mind. She's literally like not like on her mind. I mean, more like her feelings. Like you wouldn't really, I don't think she even knows. But she does care about him, and I feel like she's going to be really hurt.
Because she says a lot. She's always like, I'm a slow burner. Why did they all seem to be obsessed with being a slow burner this year? Everyone was always like, I'm a slow burner. Yeah. But she kept saying she's a slow burner. And I did feel, she made me laugh in Casa Amor. That boy, that poor boy, I mean, I can't even remember his name. But one of them tried so hard with her. And
I remember this. And then she was like, no, I think I take the right amount of time or something like that. But good on her, because no one should make you feel pressure to rush or anything, a connection. Like if she wants to do it at her pace, good on her.
Yeah, and she was like, because he was like, you're not really giving, like you're being a bit slow, and she's like, okay, that's what I want to do.
She obviously wants to, leave her alone.
But do you think Tom and Samie will be able to recover from it?
Sammy's very like,
you think she'll take it personally? Like deep?
Of course, I would.
Really?
Yeah, like, like in the beginning when Ron decided he wanted Lana, and I can't remember how that situation went actually. Samie was like, no, I'm not gonna, like, I would never give him a chance now after this. So I do feel like Sammy's very much like, I think she's really not gonna like this, I can't lie.
Okay.
I don't know how she's gonna handle it though.
Yeah.
But you could see, like, she was straight away, she was like, I didn't kiss anyone. I didn't have to do that. So I don't think she's going to be fine with him for a while, if she accepts
I think she can do better. And I think Tom is an extremely good looking boy. I just don't think their personalities match up very well. They look good together.
He's lovely though. He's a lovely boy. But I think that she needs that more excitement. And I do think that someone else will come in. And because of what he's done, she'll definitely, turn her head. Yeah. And she deserves to.
Claudia and Casey. Casey was getting it on. He was kissing Sanam. He had Cynthia straddling him on the balcony. I think he had no intention of picking anyone from Casa Amor.
I agree.
I think he just was like, I'm just going to get with everyone. And
I'm just going to have fun.
And stick with it at the end. And he did stick with Claudia. Did you was Claudia in there when you went in? Nice girl?
Really nice girl, actually. And very generous, like really sweet. Like she was so like, just nice. Like I didn't feel any weird vibe from her, actually. She's a really lovely girl.
Because I feel like we've seen nothing about her until last night, which we'll get onto in a bit. But if someone asks me, oh, what do you think of Claudia? I actually have nothing to say. I'm just like,
maybe
she's there.
Yeah.
But Claudia and Casey, I don't know. The couples like that, I just don't think it's that deep, because I'm like, you guys have known each other for a few days. This is not deep. Liv and Kai, however, switched like that. It took them 0.2 seconds to go. I knew this was going to happen
because you had all that time in that villa to find a connection with each other, and you did it in the first couple of weeks, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, but
that's not a thing.
Nah, that was never genuine, and I knew it wasn't. But how funny when she had a go at him, but they were both in this. You're both as bad as each other.
Right. But going back to Liv and Kai, they made such a big deal about how this is fine. Like when they first got together, they were like, finally, like this is the happiest we've been. We've done this for so long. Absolute bullshit. Like they were lying through their teeth. I don't think I have ever seen a couple on Love Island that has been so obviously just for convenience and to like last longer in the villa. Because I almost feel like Kai maybe thought, I'm not going to get this. Like if with Tanyel, like if she is not into it, she will actually end it. Whereas I think he could sort of see in Liv that, and Liv could see in him that they both wanted to like last for as long as they could. So they were both like, let's just get together.
I do think it was like that.
They can last as long. Did you believe the relationship when you were in the villa, when they first got together? Were you like, okay, maybe this could be a thing? Or were you like, absolutely not?
Because I was really close with her at the time. I was more, to be honest, and I even said this to her, but they obviously didn't show it. I said, I'm only worried for you because I don't know if it's genuine on his behalf. Because I believed her, she's my friend. I believe my friends. I don't think that they're going to lie about how they're feeling. But towards the end, when I started to distance myself a little bit from her, I started to think, I don't know if this is that genuine, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't really care, to be honest. It was only now that I'm out and I can see things more clearly, I don't think it was ever real.
It also makes it worse that now you're out and you're looking at it and it's like you step back and let them do their thing and then you find out, well, hang on a minute, why was Olivia getting so involved in my relationships?
But also, you told me how deep your connection was with Kai, and like you're saying that you wouldn't have that with anyone else. And
it took a day.
Oh my God, like it's literally like the same routine. It's like, Tom, then this person, then this person.
Yeah,
It's literally like now I'm not shocked. I can't lie.
Speaking of Kai and Olivia, let's get on to the actual recoupling of the episode. Kai and Olivia both decided to recouple, and then Olivia came in with a man on her arm, like. Clearly didn't miss me that much. I'm like, girl, read the room. Like, you're with next to a man. Yeah.
Like, can you not see that he's right on your arm, right next to you, yeah?
And at this point, I'm like, I'm on Team Kai. Like, I did not care about them as a couple, but now I'm like, Olivia's actually making me like side with Kai. I'm like, I have an opinion now. I've formed an opinion on these two.
I completely agree. Like, Kai was like baffled. He was like, what are you talking about?
I have never seen, I don't know if you know.
She said like, you left me a message or whatever. But you still picked someone else. So the message obviously didn't mean nothing to you.
You forgot his name.
You forgot his name on day one.
Like, and you said that it was the most special connection in the world. You forgot his name.
Yeah, that connection went out the window.
I've picked up though, I think she notices she's very, very aware of the public.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe the comment she made. Like, could you make it any more obvious that you only recoupled with someone else because you don't want to be in the bottom two with him?
I think she is very aware of the cameras, and it goes back to why she decided to go with for Kai, because she sort of knew that she could bide with Kai, which would give her more time in the villa. But I was just like, girl, you were bottom in the vote because we can all see that you two aren't compatible. Like, that is why you're bottom. It's nothing to do with you two as individuals. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think her times to the villa sort of might be coming to an end. I think everyone's sort of seen through it now.
I'm glad everyone can see for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like she's had to, you can just see it from the TV. Claudia and Casey, it shocked me the most. I didn't like how Claudia was laughing. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did see that, but I didn't understand. Was she laughing at, you know, when someone's awkward, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm uncomfortable and I'm awkward, I don't know if this is the thing that other people do, but I laugh at the wrong time. Yeah. But like, really, I'm actually nervous and I feel awkward and a bit uncomfortable. So I don't know how she meant it.
The only thing that I didn't like was she started to laugh because Cynthia came forward and was like, we actually had a thing when you were gone. We were straddling on the terrace. So I'm actually quite shocked you didn't pick me. And she started to cry. And then Claudia started to laugh. Yeah. So I was like, sort of read the room. Like, a girl's crying. She's clearly upset. Like,
but did she not say something to him in his ear? What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. But she then got angry at them for being annoyed that she's like, I was like, just like take it, like have a little bit of class and just be like, I'm so sorry I was laughing, it wasn't at that.
Be annoyed at him, don't be annoyed at the girl ever, because that girl did nothing wrong.
Because, you compare it to...
The girl ain't done nothing wrong.
When Jessie and found out about Ron and... God, there are so many of those... I can't remember any of the names. But Layla, that's the girl I was thinking of. When Jessie found out that Will had been kissing, Jessie made a deal. She was like, I'm so sorry you got involved in that. It's nothing to do with that. Like, you're a gorgeous girl. Like, I'm not angry at you at all.
She was so lovely to that.
Very mature, very classy. And I just felt Claudia could have handled it a bit better with the way that she then got angry at them.
It was a bit like, I think it come across to like, be like, competitive with girls. And it's like, she's not come in here doing anything wrong to you. Obviously, she has to step on your toes, but that's what Casa Amor is all
exactly,
about. But if you're going to be upset with anyone, don't be upset with her, be upset with him.
100%. I was like...
And also, it was too early between them two. I think they can't even be upset with each other, but don't laugh, don't laugh.
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
But I wasn't sure if she was awkward.
I think it was sort of just like, she was probably also really excited that he had stuck. Because out of everyone, I bet you she was the girl that was the most unsure about what was going to happen because they were the newest relationship. So she was probably just like so happy that...
She did like him though, you know? Like in there, she said that he's her ideal type.
Tom and Samie. I thought Tom was going to recouple. I thought Tom was going to bring back that Scottish girl.
I thought so too, but I knew he wouldn't in the end because, come on, Samie.
Yeah.
Samie is amazing.
Also, Tom and Samie, that, speaking of Layla, she got involved in that as well. I was obsessed with her when she was stood on the lineup and she just started like adding into everyone's relationship, like with Claudia and Casey.
Is Layla the one that gives good advice?
Yes, and she seems
quite nice actually.
And she kept popping off at everybody in the recoupling. She was just like, well, actually, you were kissing someone else like out of nowhere. It's like, it wasn't even you.
Her though, good for her. At least she's saying what she needs to say.
She gave good energy. I think they should have just kept her on anyway because none of them were getting picked anyway. Ron and Lana stuck. Do you think they'll last now that they're back together?
Yes, and this just goes to prove my point, yeah. I know he was silly in the beginning, yeah, but it's better to do things very early and explore if you have to. And now I think this is going to make them stronger. This is going to build their trust and her trust for him, because obviously, really, he needs to prove more to her. And I think that they're going to really be strong after this.
Yeah, and I think I will hold my hands up. I was quite a Ron and Lana critic. Critic.
Yeah.
That is the word. I was very skeptical. I was like, he does not like her. He's not interested in her. He needs to leave the girl alone. But now I'm looking back at it, and I hate to eat my own words because I'm someone who hates to be in the wrong. I actually think that Ron was sort of playing it the most real, and no one else was doing what he wanted. No one else was doing what he was doing because they didn't want to look bad in the public eye.
The one thing he did wrong was he didn't communicate but he didn't communicate properly with Lana. Like, I'd say to him all the time, like, you can't promise her one thing and not deliver.
That was
because then you're giving her false hope. Yeah.
Because it also made me laugh. He was convincing the boys a lot to explore the connections, and at first I was skeptical. I was like, Ron, this is definitely to sort of back yourself, like to make you not look as bad and get everyone else to do the same thing. But I do actually think that Ron and Lana are well suited and will last now. I think they could go the distance.
Trust me, they will. Like the way he looks at her, I can tell.
Will and Jessie, they stuck, but obviously Will was kissing. I don't think Jessie knows how serious Will actually was kissing other people, because it was played out quite...
Well, she ain't got to worry, because I'm sure movie night will come soon. Oh my God, thank God I'm not there for that. Oh my God, I would have gone, literally, I would have hated to watch stuff like that.
I would have loved to see you in a movie night. I think you would be so good at a movie.
My popcorn would have gone everywhere. But she's really going to be, honestly, they're definitely going to show it.
Yes, 100%.
And I don't know how she can look past that.
It was a lot. I don't think, because I don't think I would be able to get over it. But she's also a very sweet girl.
Yeah.
And I think she may be able to forgive and forget.
But she's always been the first one in there to say to Lana, no, about Ron.
Really?
Yeah, she was always the first to be like, if he don't show you this, or if his head turns, or if he's giving another girl the time of day, don't go there. Like, she's always been very harsh about it, right? So she should really stick to what she... Word, yeah, I can't lie.
I think that she will continue with Will, and then on movie night, will maybe... Because I think they'll downplay it a lot. I think we'll be like, it was a quick kiss and it meant nothing. Yeah. And I think when she sees how it actually played out on movie night, she actually might be like, this.
Yeah,
I don't care for this.
Because she'll be too hurt.
Final couple, Shaq and Tanya. Is this the end for Shaq and Tanya? Do you think Shaq will be able to get over this?
I don't think Shaq will be able to get over it.
Me neither.
And I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Like, he was on the day beds. He was on the day bed.
It makes me cringe thinking about it.
But he was really like respectful to her, I can't lie.
Yeah, he was.
Like, he was on the day beds. Imagine being on the day beds, doing all that, like thinking of someone, saying how much you miss them, and then they come back with another man. Like, I don't think he can...
It was very rare that, I love Casa Amor recoupling. I think they're like the best thing. But it was actually hard to watch. I was cringing when Tanya was stood there and she was like, this isn't necessarily the end of us. And Shaq was like, no, it is the end. I was like, oh,
but you know what? I'm so glad with how he reacted. He handled
the situation very well.
Because I thought, oh my God, he might handle this wrong. And he was actually really mature about it.
Yeah, I don't think Tanya will be able to win him back. But we've seen before, like with Amber, it could be the best thing for Shaq, because someone could come in for Shaq now, really like him, and they'll go the distance. As for Martin, who Tanya brought in, I don't even know if he likes her. Because when he came into the villa...
I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah, and he said, when he came into the villa, he says, well, it all starts now. And I was like, that is not something you say when you've just...
But also, I feel like, oh my God, if I was Shaq, I'd be like, I hate you even more. Like, you're horrible. Like, seriously, like, he was just like, woohoo, let's party.
And a lot of people had to say that the other thing which Tanya sort of messed up on, or like did wrong, was Martin talked a lot of about Shaq. Like, he would be like...
But I think Tanya spoke too much about her relationship.
Tanya spoke maybe a bit too much, but Martin would be like, you've got a 2-course meal in Shaq over there, and you've got a 5-course meal right here.
And you know, I hate that, because even with women, you shouldn't put someone else down personally to make yourself look better. It doesn't make you a better person.
Yes, 100% agree with that. I thought like that. Also, it wasn't necessary. Tanya was clearly so interested. She wasn't thinking about Shaq.
She was happy to get to know you. She was open to it.
She was fine with it.
You did not need to tell yourself any more than you already did.
But then what made it even worse was Tanya was like, oh, so you're the 5-star meal, yeah, and Shaq's the 2-star. I'm like, no, you said you love him. How are you letting someone talk this much about someone that you apparently love?
I know.
Please, Tanya, stand your ground. Feel sorry for her. I hope that Martin is real. And
I think she's going to regret this.
I think she will too. I think she'll sort of quickly realise that this ain't all that. Shaq was actually the better option. However, I think Shaq seems like he backs himself. And from what I've seen with like the way he spoke to Ron over the dishes and called Ron up for how he was speaking to Lana, stuff like that. Shaq seems like he's got too much self-pride to go back there.
And also, he can normally react quite like, he reacts sometimes without thinking, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen that with certain situations. But in this situation, did you see how like he held himself so well, and he said all the right things, and he showed it was more because he was hurt.
Yes.
And I think this showed to me that he actually really loved her.
That is very true. You cracked the nail on the head there.
Like, because that was the first time I thought you actually really cared about this girl. Like, because you're showing you're hurt. You're not even getting angry.
Yeah, it made me laugh so much because Shaq was the last one, and you could see as each couple goes down, he was realizing more and more that he was going last. And obviously the people who go last are always like, it's the big shock one. And I think he was starting to himself when it got down to the final 2 and it wasn't him. Bless him. I hope he does find someone else, and I hope Tanya has fun with Martin and they can just go on amicably. Because I think it could get very messy.
This was like the maddest Casa.
Yes, I thought it was
Everyone was moving mad.
The actual Casa Amor I thought was a bit boring, but the Recoupling episode I thought was great. I thought it was very good drama. How we end it is we have a little piece of paper. Okay. We have had issues with this. People, it's a very, very simple task. Step 1, write on the piece of paper that is inside the envelope who you think is the winner. Who you think the winner's going to be.
I already know.
You already know. Oh my God, don't tell me who, but I'm excited if you're that confident. Task number 2, put it back in the envelope, seal the envelope and write your name on the front. I don't understand how this task has caused so much confusion for so many people on this show.
Who do you think's the winner?
Oh, if I was to guess right now, Ron and Lana. I think Ron and Lana would pull it out the bag because they've gone on a journey. Will and Jessie have just gone in and I've been good, and they've had a little blip at Casa, but they might be good the whole way. Ron and Lana have actually had a journey that people can get. People love a journey. People love when, you go from hard times to in love.
And, heartbreak and stuff, innit?
I think that they...
It's all that side of it, it's like everyone just becomes more invested.
If I was a betting man, I'd put my money... I did think for a time Tom and Samie could have won. When they first got together, I
still want her to, I would be happy for her to win as well because she's so lovely.
Oh wait, before we, could you write your name on the front? Oh. We almost completed the envelope task with no issues. We had one blip. Thank you so much for coming on the show, babe. You were incredible. I think you were robbed on the show. We will be back next Sunday with a brand new episode and discussing all the goss and the Casa Amor fallout. And I will see you then. Goodbye.